Hey, it is Dr. Ron here, and today like to talk a little bit about the whole idea of how we can and sometimes don't talk with each other. You know, when I was growing up, I had friends of different religions, different races, had some Republican friends, Democratic friends, and that wasn't the dominant part of their personality. In other words, I didn't regard somebody as worthy of speaking with if they were a particular race, if they were a particular religion or political party. What's kind of happened over time? I just, let's look at the news the last few weeks. I mean, well, first of all, last year we came off of probably the most divisive presidential election that we've had in the United States, and the fallout and the aftermath continues. We've had recent Supreme Court decisions on gun control and abortion and so on, and that seems to further divide us. But the dividing of us is not as bad as the fact that somehow, somewhere, it became appropriate to demonize the other side. We have forgotten how to speak with one another without disrespecting the other side. I know that's a general statement, it's not true for everybody, but we have become so polarized. And polarization is not really your friend because that works against critical thinking. Now, I know it's very easy, if you feel strongly about a subject, to say that you're right, have no way of believing that the other person is correct, and that makes the other person obviously a bad person. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some bad people involved in some of the major topics of the day, but that's not necessarily an ongoing kind of case. The fact is, when you have polarization, then it becomes easier for bad people to get involved because they can project authoritarian beliefs, and there's a certain percentage of people who will follow those beliefs. Most people, though, are not bad people. And let me just suggest that there are a few things that have contributed to this. I think the pandemic played its role because a lot of people were stuck inside, didn't interact with others, very often would turn to their favorite TV show and get one point of view that lasted the entire day, leaving the TV on without seeing that there might be an opposing side. I think that, politics has played a role. We've all heard about how Republicans and Democrats used to work together. And while we've seen a few instances of this lately, it generally doesn't seem to be the case. Where is this going to stop? If our basic interaction is what we get online or on TV, as opposed to being able to know other people, to be able to accept the fact that others may have differences of opinion without being bad people. Try and do that next time you're interacting with somebody who has a difference of opinion. Now, I know sometimes it's hard, and I know I personally have, for example, kind of cut off some relationships with people who, instead of conversing, would try and make any conversation I had into kind of a proselytizing mission for their particular political point of view. But I do try to interact in reasonable ways. I remember days when we could. So I think it all starts with, number one, accepting the fact that the other side isn't necessarily demon worshipers. Secondly, on most issues in the United States and in many other countries, the division is fairly close to equal, that about half the country believe one thing, half believe another. If we get into the 80-90% range, then hey, maybe the other side is getting some bad advice or is wrong, or their ideas haven't caught on yet. But they still might be worth listening to as long as they respect us and we can respect them. I don't have all the answers, and one of the things I've tried to do is avoid, in general, wading into things like politics and religion. I guess I've skirted it a bit in this in this video, but the message is the important one. Have we forgotten how to talk with one another with respect? Polarization is not your friend. We miss a lot when we don't reach out to others with opposing points of view, with a degree of curiosity and wanting to learn. So that's my message as we begin a new week. This is Dr. Ron Kaiser. Hope I haven't offended anybody with the idea that we don't have to offend people in the way that we interact with them. See you next time. Take care. In the meantime, please join the mental health gym. Please respond in the comments below or to me directly. Really interested in hearing your point of view, even if it's an opposite one.